Welcome to the video on Visual Basic for Applications functions. Okay, so we have inserted into the course a small part on Visual Basic for Application functions. We will focus only on functions and only on some very easy aspects. The main reason for this part is to be able to build user-defined functions to expand Excel. So you will be able at the end to build small and easy functions that work exactly like Excel function. This is very useful whenever you have a long function and you don't want to repeat it every time. Okay, you can use copy and paste, but your function will become extremely long. It's much easier to build it with Visual Basic for application, and that formula will become a function. Okay, so the only construct that we will learn is the if then else. We will not learn other strange things such as subroutines, arrays, loops. Okay, let's see how to do it. First thing that you have to remember is that the file must be saved in a special format, XLSM. Otherwise, you're not so sure that the function that you write will be saved. So don't save as XLS, don't save as XLSX, save as XLSM, M and not T. So let's see, I have here an Excel sheet. First thing I do is File, Save As. I go to my desktop and I save not as EasyLexX, not as XLTM, okay, but as XLSM. Okay, XLSM Maker Enable Workbook. Okay, it's more or less like the other one for you, but it will save also the functions that you write. Okay, let's see. In order to open the function editor, you have to press Alt F11, Alt F11. Or a special warning, on Excel for Macintosh, this thing doesn't exist. So now you will have to insert a new module. You can either go here in the blank area, not here, right click, insert module, okay, or here, insert module. Okay. It's very important to write your code into the module and not as many people do into the sheet, because it will not work. So write it into the module. Be sure to be into the module. Okay, here's the place where you can write your code. Okay, we have done everything. There is an important button. This one is the reset button. This one. Set bottom. You will for sure forget now its existence, but when everything will be stacked with a yellow bar here and you will not be able to go on anymore, press it and it will release you from that thing. Okay, let's go into the most important part. First of all, how to declare a function and which are the parameters. Function you declare simply writing function, the function name. Our first function will be called plus, and it's a very easy function with two parameters. It will simply calculate the sum of the two parameters. Okay, so plus a comma b, or you can write first comma second. You are completely free to decide the names of your parameter. The more meaningful they are, the easier it will be later on. Okay, but if you write too long parameter names or too complicated, you will misspell something and it will not work. Okay, now as soon as I press enter, look what happens. So Visual Basic for Application Editor has the good, or for some people very bad, feature of adjusting your code. So can you see something has turned blue here, the capital F, the capital E, and function has appeared, all the spaces have been put automatically. Well, I find it rather annoying, but many people will find it probably rather helpful. Okay, so this means that the function declaration is the following: function followed by function name, between parentheses separated with a comma and not with a semicolon, the list of arguments. You can decide which are this variable name, and you can decide also the function name clearly. Please avoid using function name which already exists, such as sum. Okay, and then there must be mandatory an end function which ends the function. In the middle, you write the function. So here you write the function. Okay, let's see. The first function simply calculates the sum. So we have plus equal first plus second. Okay, can you see Visual Basic readjust all the spaces according to his taste? Okay, the function is over, done. So the important thing is that on the left of the equal assignment, you have the result of the function, which corresponds to the function name, and on the right, the calculation that must be put inside. So this equal in computer science doesn't mean equal, but means take what you have on the right and put it on the left. Let's see whether it works. I go here, all right, equal plus. Can you see there is a function called plus? 7 semicolon. It's very strange that here you have to use the semicolon. 15. The result should be 22. 22. Okay. It works even if you put the numbers here. Okay. So you now have this new function plus. Okay. Let's see some other features. Function plus 2. Okay, I rewrite the same one. You can use copy and paste if you want. Okay, I rewrite the same, but I must change name. So I can, even if I do copy and paste, so suppose I do copy and paste, okay, you must change the name of the function and also change consequently the return value. If you leave plus here, it will not work. Okay, it's very easy that the function doesn't work if you commit small mistakes. So change the name, but remember also to change here. You cannot have two functions with the same name, obviously. So let's make a little change, optional. Okay. With this change, the new function plus 2 has second parameter optional. So the second parameter now is optional. You can decide to omit it. If you omit it, it will be equal to 10, as it is obvious. Okay. Pay attention that you can declare the second parameter optional. You can declare also the first parameter optional, but you cannot declare the first optional and not the second optional. So the optional parameters must be on the right. If you want to declare the first optional, you have to declare also the second optional. Okay, so let's see whether it works. Equal plus 2, 7, semicolon 3, the result will be 10. Okay, but if I write 7 and nothing else, the result will be 17. Okay, second parameter optional. So until here, everything was pretty easy. Okay, let's see another function very similar. Function fuel consumption. Okay, I'm starting to be, this starts to be dangerous because if I misspell fuel consumption later on, it will not work. So I want to know how much fuel does my car need. So I have the finish kilometer, the starting kilometer, and the liter that my car used. Okay, and the formula is fuel consumption equal to finish kilometer minus starting kilometer. Capital letters and small letter doesn't matter, divided by liters. You will see that Visual Basic adjusts everything. Now I press enter, it will adjust everything. Okay, so pretty easy. It's very similar to the other one. However, this is a little more interesting because it does a calculation which is not obvious. Let's see. Equal fuel consumption. Suppose I finish 700, I was 100, and I use 20 liters. I do 30 kilometers with 1 liter. Seems too much, honestly. So probably 50 liters would be okay. 12 kilometer per liter seems more believable. Okay, also here let's put some optional things. You can put, for example, deciding that letters are optional. If they're not specified, let's suppose there are 45, which is the approximate amount of fuel that a car carries. Also, starting kilometer, it can be optional. Okay. I underline again the fact that if you decide that starting kilometer be optional, but liters be not optional, you can't. You have to move the optional things always on the right. So you cannot have this thing here. It will not work. Okay? Can you see? If you try to do it, Visual Basic says compile error expected optional. Okay, you can go on anyway, but optional liters equal 45. Okay. Okay, let's complicate again the thing. By the way, we save. Okay. You can save also here. Doesn't matter whether you save here or here. If you have the file in XLSM, doesn't matter. If you have the file in other strange format, I don't know. Okay, now, using this symbol here, the apostrophe, you can insert comments. Comments are completely ignored by the program. If you write something else without that symbol, Visual Basic will not be happy. Now it didn't say anything because this looks like a variable name, but if I do something like this, doesn't say anything. Okay, this one complains. So if you write random things, Visual Basic will complain. So if you plan to write a comment, it must start with an apostrophe. You can put it also here. This is a comment. Okay. Okay. So now build a function which calculates given price and quantity, one if missing, calculates price by quantity, and up to here it's extremely easy. I don't want to offend your intelligence doing it, but you can stop the video and try to do it alone. Okay, now let's go on with a discount of 10% if quantity is at least 10. Okay, you can see there is this if quantity is at least 10, which complicates the thing a lot, because we have to give a sort of intelligence to our function. So a function now must check whether quantity is at least 10 or not. So function, let's call it total price of price quantity, one if missing, so optional quantity equal to 1. Okay, so what does our function do? First thing, our function must check whether quantity is at least 10 or not. And how does it check? Well, if you look at the slide, if, then, else. So if quantity larger or equal to 10, then, oops, okay. Here you write what happens in case quantity is larger or equal to 10. Total price is equal to quantity by price by 0.9, so discount of 10%, oops, 0.9. In Visual Basic for application, you must use the point, regardless of what is your Excel or your Windows configuration. You must use the point, there is no discussion. Else, total price equal quantity by price. And if, you just write and if, and the editor will readjust it to and if. Okay, This is your function. If you leave some lines blanks, doesn't matter. Okay? Doesn't matter also if you put some extra space here. Okay. So leaving line blanks doesn't matter. Also this thing here, these spaces, these blank spaces here, I leave them only for readability. You can, if you want, write everything stick to the left. If you do it, you will not understand how do you if work. If you build it like this, it's much more comprehensible. But for Excel, for Visual Basic, it doesn't matter. You can write everything stick to the left. I prefer indenting the thing in this way. Okay, let's see what the total price work. Equal total price. So first of all, the price 20, then the quantity. Let's start with quantity 5. We have no discount here, so the price should be 100. Let's put a quantity 50. So here it should be 1000, but there is a discount, so 900. Let's skip the quantity. Here we will have the default value triggered, so it will be 1, so 20. Done. So this is how if work. If a condition, you can use the and in the condition, so you can use quantity smaller and something else, for example, quantity. Okay, so if you need, you can use the and, you can use or, okay, you can use also not. Oops. Okay, sorry. Okay, and you can use the parentheses. This time, unlike Excel, in a natural way, so you can write something quantity larger or equal to 10 and quantity whatever smaller than 3000. Okay, so you can write them in a natural way without any problem. It works much better than Excel. Okay. What happens if quantity is negative? So until here, we don't forbid the quantity for being negative. So if somebody puts a negative quantity, it will work anyway, and it will result in a negative total price. Okay. So let's try to prevent this. So to protect our function from strange results. So I copy total price. I paste it here. I call it total price 2. I change it also here and here. I put here at the very beginning, if quantity smaller than 0, then okay. When the quantity is smaller than 0, we will have to do two things. The first thing is warning the user. How do we tell something to the user? We tell something to the user using message box. In this way. So message box, open round parentheses. Inside the parentheses, you write what you have to tell him. Text goes between quotation. Then you use this symbol, the amp symbol, to concatenate, and you can put also variables inside. So quantity is negative, its value is, and it will display the value of quantity. Then message box, I will use 1 as quantity. And then quantity equal to 1. So you're able to communicate messages to the user and to change the parameter value in case. And if. So you can see that in the if, the else part is optional. If you don't need it, you can skip the else part. Okay. Put the else part only if you need. For example, here we don't need it, and I have skipped it. Okay. Please don't abuse of message boxes because the user will be very annoyed. So equal total price 2 of price 20, quantity minus 3. Okay, I press enter. Oops, too quick. Sorry. Quantity is negative, its value is minus 3. I will use 1 as quantity and then the result. Pay attention that whenever you recalculate a sheet, this will be recalculated. So if for any reason this is recalculated, it will retell you blah 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 blah. So now we remove it. Okay, I save it. Okay, now let's complicate even more. Calculate total price and quantity with a discount of 10% if quantity is at least 10, discount of 20%. Okay, so complicated a little bit. So function total price 3, price quantity. Well, we don't care anymore about negative quantities. Well, if you want, well, no, let's copy and paste. Okay, so we have fixed it. Okay. Now, oh, by the way, we can do the same for price. Let's do it. If price is negative, price is negative. So these things are some checkings to check whether the user is cheating you, trying to insert unbelievable values. Okay, save. And now let's do what the exercise asks us. Discount of 10% if quantity is at least 10. Discount of 20 if it is at least 50. So, if quantity is how do we start? Do we start with at least 50? Do we start with at least 10? Or do we start with less than 10? Well, I will start with less than 10. Oops. And okay. Now, here I cannot write else. I write else if. All together, let's see. No, doesn't work, sorry. Else if quantity smaller 30, total price 3, else total price 3, done. Okay, if you want, you can write it in the opposite direction. So if quantity is larger or equal to 30, then the value by 0.8. Else if quantity is larger or equal to 10, 0.9, else, okay, you can write it also in this direction here. Okay, I don't suggest you to start with this one. Well, if you really want, I will write it here below. Okay, I will write it here below and then remove it. If you really want to start with the middle one, so with a discount of 0.9, you have to check whether it's larger or equal to 10 and at the same time smaller than 30. Okay, then larger or equal to 30. Okay, so if you really want to start with 0.9, you have to do it in this way. So all three are okay. This one is the most contorted, obviously. Okay, so we have learned also the existence of the else if, okay, which gives you the possibility to do another if. So if count is larger or equal to 30, this one. If it is not, let's check whether if it is at least larger or equal to 10. Okay, this one. And if it is not, this one. Okay, save. Okay, complicate again. Calculate the same total price, but with an extra parameter membership, can be yes or no, which gives an extra flat discount of 10 before applying, which gives to members. Okay, now I suggest to stop the video, try to do it alone. It's not easy because it's somehow contorted, but complex. Try to do it alone and then resume the video and watch it. Okay, how to do it? Well, first of all, I will copy this one here. I will change it to 4, otherwise it doesn't work. 4, 4, 4. Fine. Have to add the membership. Okay. Well, if you want, you can set it optional membership equal to no. Okay, pay attention. This is a text variable, so its value are between quotation. Okay, so and now how to do it? If quantity is smaller or equal to 30, what do you have to do here? You have first of all to check whether membership equal to yes. So if membership is equal to yes, then total price equal blah 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 minus 10. It's before applying the discount. Else there is not this minus 10. End. Okay. But it's not over because you have to do the same thing here and the same thing here. So it starts to be really long. I use copy and paste a lot. And 0.9 here. And also here. Here there is no discount. Okay, so this is how it works. This is a nested if, nested ifs. So one if inside another. So you check whether the membership is yes. You check first of all whether quantity is larger or equal to 30. If it is, then you check another thing whether membership is equal to yes. In the case you apply this one, otherwise you apply this one. If quantity is larger or equal to 10, you check membership, etc., etc. Usually, and with usually I mean 80-90% of the times, whenever you have nested ifs, you can also switch them. So maybe some of you has adopted the opposite approach. Let's see the opposite approach also. I have to change it, however, to 5, otherwise 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Let's see the opposite approach. The opposite approach is checking immediately whether membership is equal to yes. Okay, if it is equal to yes, I will now check the quantity. Okay, and I will do this thing here. Okay. Okay. Now, if it is not yes, so here I write instead of and I write else. If it is not yes, I will redo all the calculations and without the 10 discount. Okay, so you can, this is perfectly equivalent to this one. Also, you can see the amount of things you write is perfectly equivalent. Probably this is a little clearer because you do the big if on the membership externally and internally the one on the quantity. Okay, I save. Okay, so if you have nested if, probably you can switch them. You can choose the one you like, the one which is less complex. Okay. However, I will be honest, in cases like this, usually there is also another solution. Okay, we can make it shorter using a temporary variable. Until now, we have never used temporary variables, so variables which are built inside the function and disappear as soon as the function is executed. We have only and always used the function name, because this must correspond to function name, as the only variable. Okay, but it's not forbidden to use as many temporary variables as you want. Let's see. This becomes 6, 5, 4, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Okay, well, first of all, we check whether quantity is negative and price is negative. These are okay. And now here I build a temporary variable. Let's call it temp, but you can call it whatever you want. Okay, in this way. If membership is equal to yes, this temporary variable is equal to price by quantity minus 10. Otherwise, this temporary variable is equal to price by quantity. Okay. Now here, I will use this temporary variable for the rest of the calculation. If quantity is larger or equal to 30, total price 6 equal to temp by 0.8. Else if quantity larger or equal to 10, then oops. Yes, then total price 6 is equal to temp by 0.9, else total price 6 is equal to temp. End. Okay, so built in this way, it will be a little shorter. Okay, for sure, much more comprehensible. You calculate first this thing here, you put it in a variable called temp. Here you don't know what temp is, but you have calculated it here correctly, and then you multiply it by 0.8 or by 0.9. So this example was to teach you that you are free to put any variable that you need. So if you need extra variable to store your temporary data for your calculation, you can use them, and sometimes it will even make your life easier. So this one is probably more comprehensible than this one. Okay, finally, let's see here how to fix people who type something else. Let's see y equal to, just use total price 6. Okay, I have price 20, quantity 300, and membership yes. Oops. Block if without if. Without and if. Can you see this yellow bar? This yellow bar is what I was explaining to you at the beginning of the lesson. Now, even if you correct your code, you cannot do anything in Excel. You must click on reset. So whenever you see the yellow bar, you must click on reset. Let's see, what is the problem here? If and if and if and if. And if. I always forget the and if also here. and also here. Is there something else? Yes, also here. Okay. Okay, everything seems okay. I save, I retry it. Okay. Let's see if I'm 4792, if I'm not a member, 48. What happens if I write something else? Something else. Well, there are people who enjoy themselves writing silly things. Well, the result in this case is not member. Okay. What happens if you put a number? 6. Well, it will work anyway. So, but if somebody types yes, okay, this is a person who is a member. But since yes, it's not y, the result is the same value for non-members. Even if somebody types y, but small caps and not capital, result is wrong. So I would like now to show you how can you protect yourself from these problems here. Okay. The first thing is whenever you do a checking here on a parameter which is text, it's a good idea to type UCase. UCase is a function which takes membership and converts it to capital. So if somebody types Y with a small caps Y, UCase will convert it to capital. Okay, so let's see. So now if I type the small y, it will work. See, 4792 is the price for members. Okay. So the first thing whenever you check for text parameter is to use this trick because people usually don't care about writing capital and small cap letters. The second check that I suggest you, especially in cases like this where you use Y for yes and N for no, is to use also left. Comma 1. This left of blah blah blah, comma 1 means take only the leftmost character. So we'll take membership, convert it to uppercase, okay, and then consider only the leftmost character. So if somebody writes yes, even everything small cap, it will be considered a customer. Even if somebody writes yeah, exclamation mark, it will be considered a customer because it starts with Y. Okay. Even you are not a customer, will be considered a customer because it starts with Y. Okay. But if it starts with space Y, for example, no. Okay, so usually it is a little trick whenever you compare something to text, a parameter with some text, converting everything to uppercase and taking only the leftmost character if you are expecting only one character, because people tend to write more than what you ask and with the wrong capitalization. Okay. Moreover, if you want to check whether some stupid people write something which is really completely different from yes or no, you can improve your program in this way, else if the left uppercase membership, comma 1 equal to no, then this one, oops, there is a missing parenthesis here. No. What's the problem? What's the problem? Left uppercase membership 1 equal to no. Seems okay. Mystery. Okay, let's investigate. This one is correct. Else if altogether. Okay, and now else message box don't be silly, membership is only yes or no. You vote okay, and membership, and we use this. Okay, so in case the person vote yes, it's yes. The person vote no, it's no. If the person votes something else, don't be silly. Membership is only yes or no. You vote. Pay attention that I leave a space here after vote because otherwise it will be sticked together with membership. And I set temp as for a non-member, or even worse, I charge him €10 extra. Okay, let's see. So if somebody now enjoys himself writing silly things, for example, blah blah blah, don't be silly, membership yes or no, you vote blah blah blah, and the prices. Okay, so all these things, for example, this checking here and this checking here, how to make your function much better and much more robust, so it doesn't break if somebody writes silly things. Okay, there are also many other functions inside Visual Basic for application. Most of them, like left, are identical to Excel. Some are a little different, mysteriously. For example, square root is SQL and not SQLT. Okay, we stop here.